everyone, welcome to Joy's Creative Finger, and it's finally here, the first episode of Lendi Empire. I have been working on this for a little while, but the thing is I've been preoccupied with Sims Freeplay, especially when an event comes out, but finally I put it together and this is the first episode. It's a story of a widow, a young widow left with a lot of wealth but lives moderately, and she has an organized staff and an established family, 2 sons with their own families, and she's a beautiful lady and is still looking for love. Now she's having a very busy morning today, so she's taking a shower and she would have some breakfast, and then we're going to get her to Windenburg to open up another store. I think it's a wedding store, yes. So let's go and introduce you to the rest of the staff. We have Selena Moya, who's always in the office. She works terribly hard for Miss Lendi. She is Miss Lendi's hands and legs and eyes and nose and feet and everything you can think of. She will do everything for Miss Lendi but bathe her. She was going to be a teen, but then she kept going off to school and I didn't want that, so I've made her a young adult, so she's always home. And the same goes for the butler and the housekeeper as well, so they don't have real jobs in the game. They basically work in this house as the Lendi staff. So she does get exhausted and a bit prickly, but she's dedicated to Miss Lendi. Right now she's playing games and not working, but I'm sure when she sees Miss Lendi show up, she'll act as though she's been very busy, as you do. Now we have Juliet Bucco, who is the head staff of this house. She's a housekeeper, she does all the cooking, and she's kind of like a mother figure to Miss Lendi. And it's rumored that they are somehow related because of the way they get along and have more of a sister relationship as opposed to an employer and staff. So there is a bit of tension between her and the younger staff in the house, which is Selena and Khalid, the butler. So speaking of Khalid, he is the butler of the house and is very young and dashing and handsome and dedicated to Miss Lendi. And the thing is, they all do get along with her very well because Miss Lendi doesn't bust them around. She's very relatable to them, and they love her in that way, as a sister, as an aunt, but they certainly don't stand on the same ground as Juliet, the housekeeper, where Miss Lendi is concerned. So, yeah, this is him. He works very hard and loves what he does. So I've said already that it's a busy morning for Miss Lendi. She's acquiring a wedding store. She has a number of stores, and that's what brings about the empire that she has. She has a lot of money. Here she is. And she is headed to the garden. Yes, that's great. The thing is, she's the only one that has access to this place. And actually, it's her and her lover who is the bone of contention in the series anyway. He is very wealthy as well. He's of Arab descent. And he is rumored to be someone who comes from the dark side. But she's determined to keep this relationship going, but her entire family are not having it. It's a nice, beautiful, romantic garden. Who's that at the door? Wait. It's Nancy. I think that's Nancy Landgrab. Yes, she keeps coming here, and I think I'm going to make them besties, because that's the kind of woman that would be besties with Miss Lendi. So let's invite her in. Invite in. Finally, she is like a nosy neighbor. Miss Landgrab is the one that shuts off the electricity, isn't she? So she's like a realtor, one of the realtors that would have sold this house to Miss Lendi. So, and she's realized that Miss Lendi is quite wealthy and has always wanted to be friends with her. So finally, I am going to make her besties with Miss Lendi. She likes the house. Who's that? Her husband is coming up behind. He's quite frumpy. I'm not going to let him in. Not now. You're ruining the story. Go away. So, let's settle down to some breakfast. Yummy pancakes. And I'm going to get them to know one another and start to develop this relationship. As you all have noticed, when you set them down to eat, they never use the dining room. They'd use anywhere else but the dining room. Why? And if I take the chairs away from the bar, that wouldn't be nice. And if I take the chairs away from the kitchen island, that wouldn't be good either. But they never sit down where I want them to. Anyway, no, don't ask to leave. Boast about family. Yes, she's very proud of her family. Now, do you see what's happening here? Juliet has sat between them. And this is what I was telling you earlier on. She kind of rolls with Miss Lendi that way. And even her friends kind of wonder why you would allow the housekeeper sit down and eat with you. As I say, there is a rumor that they are related in some way. Or she's dependent on the housekeeper for reasons that we don't know. But yeah, this is the thing. I personally don't want her sitting there. But I need to get Miss Lendi to finish off that pancake. And I need to get her to go down to Windenburg and get that store open. And then maybe Nancy Landgrab can keep having a conversation with crazy Juliet here, who has a mean streak, by the way. She's evil. Yeah, we have LK Central, which is in the city, and it's in the city I call Dubai. But now we are buying another store, which is the wedding store, and it's based in Windenburg. Windenburg, here you are. So, most of these builds, or all of the builds that I'm using in the Let's Play, were built by myself, so they will be up on the gallery one after the other, so feel free to download and see what you would like to own. But let's go ahead and add some funds to this business. 25,000, maybe 250,000. I think that's a lot. No, we'll keep it at 25,000, and I can always up it if we run at a loss. That's a terrible way to start business. Anyway, here it is. It's gorgeous, and look at it with the hearts of love in the air, and the body of the front second level looks like wedding frills. And this signage right here, in my mind, spells Landy. That's where I got the inspiration for the name Lendi, because it looks something like a Fendi or something like that. Look at it. Yeah, I think so. But yes, this is the store with wedding dresses in the window. And I'm going to give you a very quick tour. I'm not going to spend my time doing that, but surely I have to have you take a look around this building with me. It's something I enjoyed putting together, and there will be a few scenes in the series taking place here. Yeah, it's very cute. It's very small, sizable, and it has a part to the back of it that's like a garden in some way. There is a food stall at the back here, and the seating area as well. And she would sit here most of the time with some clients, advising them on their wedding plans, and talking about basically the cost and negotiating. And then there are some platforms here as well to sit out on and still converse with some of the clients, discuss photography and ideas for a wedding album, and so on and so forth. So the grounds as well is all part of the build. So she's not necessarily all the time cooped up inside. She can come out during her working day, when she's in Windenburg town, that is. So she does move around quite a bit. Her staff have to take over. So let's go in and have a quick snoop around before we leave. I put a few things around here and there. The mannequins are wearing a good selection of bridesmaids' dresses, and there are some jewelry stacked in the back of the till, and one looks like a tiara as well. So some of them look like tiaras, and then some are wedding rings, but they're quite huge. Anyway, there's a table setting here. It would give clients an idea of what kind of decorative atmosphere they would want. I'm going to get her to donate to charity. I do this a lot with Miss Lendi, and I found that when she does that, wherever she is and when she's around about town, a lot of people come up to her, and I quite like that. I don't know if it's correlated, but honestly, this is what happens. So I keep doing that. And there's the flower section in the corner there. Yeah, so that's basically it. It's more of a consulting boutique, but there are dresses in store for you to try on. The wedding dresses are in front in the window display, And as you come up the stairs on either side, you come up to the dressing room floor. So she would have about 1 or maximum 2 clients doing a fitting party up here. And as you can see, the dressing rooms are quite large. There's a nice seat in there. There's a lot of space for brides who have larger dresses. Then of course we have loads of mirrors at different angles. It's sort of like getting trapped in a James Bond movie. But over on the side here there is a restroom. Very nice, very shiny, very elegant, and right around the corner here as well, backing each other. So yeah, a lovely middle seating area. She's come upstairs just to look around. I think she's very pleased with this space. Oh yeah, she's giving us a dance. She is pleased. I'm going to get her to psych herself up. Yes, Miss Lendi, you can do this. This is one more and another few to go. Keep it going. Yes, the sun is bright. It certainly is. So now I think it's time to get her to leave, but before we do that, I'll give you a view from the top part and maybe one last look around in the dark, which is quite nice because I've put a lot of lights in the building. So yeah, here you are. It's a nice space up here. There'll be lots of fitting parties going on there. So here we are. The building really lights up in the night time, and I like that about it. So and I think it's a beautiful location for this wedding store. So go ahead and download it from the gallery if you want to, but I think we're done here and it's time to leave. We need her to get home and get some rest because tomorrow is yet another busy day. Finally, she's home. She's going to get some rest because tomorrow is another busy day. She has to meet with family, meet with her staff to instruct them on what she wants done because she'll be heading off to Dubai as she does every weekend. Dubai is the city center for me, and her main chain store is situated there called GAMECENTRE. And the thing is about going to Dubai every weekend, she gets to spend that weekend with the love of her life called Nubar Kareem. Nubar has a reputation for being a bad guy. He's a little older than she is, and he's very wealthy. He's very good looking, and he's known to keep the company of many women. There is the fear that she is engaging with a player who would eventually win her heart, marry her, take the empire away from her, and ruin everything that she's built over the years. Now, it's morning, and she's got the pee-pee walk, which I don't understand. Why don't they just run to the toilet? Anyway, she's going to have a few words with the butler. She didn't like the meal that was left for her last night. He has a lot to answer for, and he's explaining it away, as you do. And she has to get through to her housekeeper here to advise her on what she wants done while she's away, and to basically supervise Khalid a lot better. Now Khalid is taken ill at the thought of it. You know, it's quite nice when this game comes together for you and it just, starts to function the way you've planned out. She sat down again to chat with her, and now she's asking if she had a good night's sleep. And look at that. That's her son calling. Yes. And what's that for? Heard you had a promotion. Congrats. I think breakfast. Yes. The promotion is that she bought a new store. So let's go. Villa Soila is another build of mine. It's up on the gallery for you to download. It's a little restaurant where I've brought them to come and have a celebratory breakfast or a brunch. So I've invited over not just Myson Lendi, who's her first son, but also her second son, Ike Lendi. Both of them have been her rocks. They're always supportive of her, very protective of her. As you can imagine, they would not stand to hear that she is in a relationship with anyone. The one with the blonde hair is Myson, first son, and this one over here on the left is her second son, who is a police officer. I think with the fact that he is a police officer, he does have a violent side to him where he's quite forceful and has been with his girlfriend. He has a live-in girlfriend. His situation is such that he got to know her, fell in love with her, and they had a child together, but he isn't quite prepared to be married to her, so they have quite a toxic relationship. They don't always get along. She's very hot-headed, and they have been known to get into physical altercations. She wants him to get married to her, but he's quite worried about that, seeing as he doesn't really love her in that way, but he has a commitment to Miss Little One over here coming down the stairs. So that's the kind of situation they are in. And the lady is quite intent on being a part of his life purely because he is part of the empire, the Lendi Empire. She's not going away that easy. But being a police officer, it's a tricky one. So that's a little bit about him. He will be leaving for work very shortly, so he won't be here for the rest of this breakfast as duty calls. Now, Miss Lendi gets to spend a little bit more time with her first son, Mr. Lendi here, who she is quite proud of and takes to a little bit more than she does Ike, because he seems to be more respectable, more put together in his lifestyle. He lives a little bit more luxurious. He is married to this very beautiful, gorgeous woman called Gizzy. They have been married for a number of years, and they have 2 children. They're actually twins. He lives in a very beautiful house. The twins are a boy right here and the girl she was just speaking to. And they have an appearance of having a happy marriage. But they kind of stick together just for the class of it. Just to keep up appearances. They like the idea of being married and they try to work at it. But there is some friction in their lives. So that's enough about Myson, enough of the introductions, and when we get to the next episode, of course, we'll delve more into the experiences that they have as families. Now I'm going to get him to get up and go and bring the car around, and she basically has to get packing and head for home and the airport. So it's finally Friday night, and she's advised Selena here to make sure her reservations are in place, and she reaches for a slice of cake. The staff aren't very friendly on Fridays. I wouldn't say that they're rude to her, but they kind of keep their distance, and they're just completely miserable and carry the longest of faces because she's setting off to Dubai. As you can see here, usually they would banter her a little, but he just gets up and leaves, pretending to have some work to do. Even Juliet as well, who is very close to her and has a lot more banter than any of the other staff, is quite sad and just, clears the table and walks off. They are having a genuine concern for her. They feel they would all lose their jobs and their lives as they know it in this household. But it isn't of concern to Madame Lendi because she wants what she wants and is going to get what she's going to get. She does realize that they're not very happy, but she tries to convince herself that it's simply because they miss her. So of course she's got a selective sense of judgment as it stands. I'm going to get her to freshen up a bit and perhaps maybe get some shut-eyed before going to the airport. and I think the rest of the household can get on with the rest of their chores and wrap up for the day. She's got the butler on her mind. Oops. Perhaps he's trying to talk her out of her journey, but he hasn't got the guts to. Gosh, they're all like her kids, you know. Wow. She has invested in them quite a bit, so they do take her as a very dear person in their lives. So let's freshen up, because that's what you do. I don't think she's going to be able to get some sleep. The time's ticking fast. And she needs to make a couple of calls, so she's going to speak to Mr. Landgrab, and I think apologize for not letting him in the other day. And then she's going to speak to Nancy and let her know that they'll catch up for tea next week when they get back. And she's going to speak to Doka, her grandson, and make a little date with him as well, because he's been feeling down and out lately. So yeah, she's not going to sleep. I can't have her get some sleep right now. We're going straight to the international airport, which is also on the gallery, so go and have a look. I really love the building side of things in this game. It's fantastic. I'm going to change her into this pink dress. I like it. She's been in it quite a bit, so I promise next time I'm going to put her in other things. But today, she's going back into that lovely vintage outfit. Off the phone, Missy. We have to go. Come on. There we go. And now she needs the restroom. Oh well, maybe not. Well, we've got to go anyway. Perhaps she can use the restroom on the plane. That would be ideal. Well, I think the rest of the household is down for the night, and it's time for Miss Lendi to drive herself to the airport. As you all very well know, Miss Landy is a grown woman and can decide for herself who she will and will not intermingle with. She's an intelligent woman, and this is her journey. She will discover the rewards or the consequences of dating and falling in love with this mysterious Nuba, and there is a possibility that she might ruin her entire lovely family and empire and lose all of her wealth. But there is the chance that he might be the real deal, and we will follow her journey and find out where it leads, and we do wish her the very, very best, as we all love a happy ending. So we're going to see her arrive at her loved one's home, or the one she loves, as we say goodbye, and I'll see you again in the next episode. Have a lovely day.